Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of April 6, 2025. I'm your host, Sharifa Mohammed MGT.
I'm Colonel AUC Ogintoy, an infantry officer. Aerial and artillery operations, Russian operational tactical aviation, UAVs, missile troops, and artillery extensively damaged Ukrainian military infrastructure and logistics across 142 districts, targeting airfields, maintenance sites, and concentrations of forces and equipment.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, your trusted source for the latest developments on security and defense operations involving military forces. I'm your host, and today we have an exclusive interview with Colonel AUC Ogintoy, who will provide insights into the progress of the special military operation as of April 6, 2025. Colonel Ogintoy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start with last night's headline action. There was a major coordinated strike carried out by Russian forces. What can you tell us about that?
Last night, the Russian armed forces conducted a group strike using high-precision, long-range air and missile weapons, along with sea-based platforms and unmanned aerial vehicles. The strike targeted the central artillery base of the Ukrainian armed forces and multiple enterprises within Ukraine's military-industrial sector, specifically those involved in drone production. The strike was successful. All intended targets were hit and destroyed.
Let's go to the front lines now. What's the latest from the Belgorod direction in the north?
In the Belgorod direction, our north group of forces defeated several Ukrainian units, including 2 mechanized brigades, an assault regiment, and a territorial defense brigade. This took place across 8 settlements in the Sumy region, such as Krasnopoly, Shevchenkovo, and Mirapolskoye. Enemy losses included 65 personnel, 4 armored vehicles, 2 cars, and 4 artillery guns. We also destroyed both ammunition and fuel depots in those zones.
And how are things progressing in the west, specifically around Kharkiv and Luhansk?
Our West Group made tangible gains along the front line. In combat operations near Radkovka, Dvierchanskoye, and Makievka, we defeated a mechanized brigade, 2 territorial defense brigades, and a Ukrainian border detachment. The enemy suffered losses of up to 230 personnel, along with 3 American Max Pro armored vehicles, 4 pickup trucks, and 4 artillery guns, 2 of which were Western manufactured. We also destroyed an electronic warfare station and an ammunition depot.
That's quite significant. Let's turn to the southern operations. There's been a lot of activity in the Donetsk region. What are the updates there?
The southern group of forces improved their tactical position while engaging and defeating 5 Ukrainian brigades, a mix of mechanized, airmobile, and assault units. This happened across settlements like Seversk, Ivanopoly, and Kleben BYK. Ukrainian losses were heavy, around 280 personnel, 2 armored vehicles, 17 cars, and 3 field artillery guns. Among the destroyed equipment was a U.S.-made M777 155mm howitzer. Additionally, we neutralized 2 electronic warfare stations and hit both ammunition and supply depots.
Let's dive into what seems to be the most extensive operations. The center group. What happened there?
The center group continued pushing into enemy defenses and engaged a broad array of Ukrainian formations, including 3 mechanized brigades, airborne units, multiple assault and Jaeger brigades, 2 Marine brigades, a National Guard unit, an unmanned systems brigade, and the Omega Special Forces. The engagements occurred across more than a dozen settlements in the Donetsk region, such as Kotlyarovka, Krasnoarmeysk, and Zverivo. Ukrainian losses in this sector alone reached 430 personnel. We also destroyed 7 armored vehicles, a pickup truck, and 5 artillery systems.
And what progress has the East Group made?
The East Group took control of more advantageous positions and defeated several Ukrainian units, including mechanized, airborne assault, airmobile, and mountain assault brigades, along with a Marine and a territorial defense brigade. Operations spanned areas in both the Donetsk and Zaporizhia regions, including Komar and Marfapol. Over 130 Ukrainian servicemen were lost, and we destroyed a tank, 4 vehicles, and 3 artillery systems. One of those was a Swedish-made Archer 155mm self-propelled gun. We also took out a major material warehouse.
And what about the DNEPR group operating further south?
They continued to consolidate control of key positions. We engaged Ukrainian mountain assault, coastal defense, and territorial defense brigades in Kamenskoye, Poniatowka, Pridniprovskoye, and Velitinsk in the Zaporizhia and Kherson regions. The result was over 65 Ukrainian personnel killed and the destruction of an infantry fighting vehicle, 3 cars, 4 electronic warfare stations, and an ammunition depot.
Across all these fronts, it seems that Russian forces have been heavily leveraging air and artillery power. What damage has been inflicted from the air in this latest phase?
Our operational tactical aviation, UAVs, missile troops, and artillery struck 142 different locations. Targets included a military airfield, a site for repair and maintenance of Western equipment, a military industrial enterprise, several depots for ammunition and missile artillery weapons, drone control centers, and concentrations of both Ukrainian forces and foreign mercenaries.
And how are air defense systems performing? Any notable intercepts?
Yes, very active. Over the past 24 hours, our air defense shot down 1 U.S.-made JDAM precision bomb and 100 aircraft-type drones. These efforts are crucial in limiting the effectiveness of Ukrainian reconnaissance and strike capabilities.
The Russian Ministry of Defense has officially confirmed the capture of Basovka in Sumy Oblast. Can you tell us what this means in operational terms?
The capture of Basovka marks the first formal ground advance into Sumy Oblast in this phase of the operation. Until now, Russian forces targeted this region primarily with long-range artillery, missile systems, and aviation. This development signals that we've crossed the border and secured a physical foothold, which could serve as a launch pad for further offensive actions in the north.
Is this just a tactical gain, or does it have wider strategic implications?
It's both. Tactically, it demonstrates that our forces can breach and hold territory along previously static or fortified lines. Strategically, it places immense pressure on Ukraine's northern defenses, which have been relatively quiet compared to the eastern and southern fronts. It forces the Ukrainian command to divert attention and resources they're already stretched thin on.
That's an important point. Ukrainian forces are already committed heavily in other areas like Chasiv Yar, Kupiansk, and Pokrovsk. Is this move into Sumy designed to exploit overstretched Ukrainian lines?
Yes. Ukrainian mobile reserves are focused elsewhere. Some were moved to reinforce Kupiansk and Pokrovsk, while others are holding lines in volatile areas like Volchansk. What we're seeing now is the result of gaps opening along the border, and our forces are moving in to capitalize on that weakness. This isn't just about territory, it's about taking the initiative where the enemy is least prepared.
Let's talk about next steps. Does the capture of Basovka suggest the beginning of a larger push into Sumy Oblast?
That's the expectation. The next operational phase would likely include neutralizing remaining Ukrainian strongholds, disrupting logistics hubs, and establishing secure supply routes. The goal would be to prevent the Ukrainian armed forces from stabilizing their defensive line in time, essentially, to deny them the opportunity to regroup in this region.
Before we wrap up, let's look briefly at the Kursk region, where Russian forces appear to be on the offensive.
Correct. In the Kursk region, our North Group liberated the village of Basovka in Sumy Oblast. We also defeated Ukrainian forces including mechanized, tank, airborne assault, and territorial defense brigades in Gornal, Gavo, and Oleshnya. Strikes also targeted numerous settlements across the Sumy region. In just the past day, we neutralized over 170 Ukrainian troops, 2 armored vehicles, a dozen cars, and destroyed 3 UAV control points along with an ammunition depot.
Colonel, Thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you. So while the liberation of Basovka may seem small on the map, its symbolic and operational weight is considerable. It's not just about territory, it's about momentum, pressure, and positioning. We'll be watching closely to see whether this move marks the beginning of a deeper Russian offensive into Sumy and what response Ukraine can muster under stretched conditions.